Are you using Physical Soap Framework Step 1 Story to supersize and grow your business yet? Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here. Let's talk about this today. This was something that came up during the COVID pandemic where I had more time on my hands than tools and things at my fingertips. And I created funky bars of soap to represent the soap framework. Because I was sharing and teaching it every other month. We did the Get Up and Go challenge to keep us moving through the pandemic. And the pandemic lasted, I did it for 2 years every other month, a 30-day plus challenge to keep myself moving and to keep other people moving as well. And one of the things that came out of that was early on in the pandemic, when we thought it was just going to be 2 weeks, and I'm like, well, what am I going to do? I already had this challenge scheduled. I might as well keep going and do it. So I did it. And part of what came out of that was this SOAP framework, identified a 4-step process that I was already using. I just had never named it. And SOAP seemed like the perfect name for something, a framework and a tool we can use all the time during the time when we were washing our hands and sanitizing and doing all kinds of crazy things. So today we're looking at step 1 of the SOAP process, or the SOAP framework, and that stands for story. What is the story or the current situation that we're telling ourselves, right? So we're going to identify 2 stories today. It doesn't take long, takes a couple of seconds. I did it last night before I went to bed for both Supersize Your Business and for my Be a Better You annual challenge. Not mine, our Be a Better You annual challenge. And I've identified, okay, what's my current story and that's what we're going to detail today. What is my current story about my physical health and well-being personally? And then what is my current physical area or challenge area I want to work on and that I'm working on? What's the story I'm telling myself about that with respect to my businesses? And I picked one really close to home. I am going to, because I need to do it and I just have not made it important or a priority, I need to revamp my physical space for where I work, where I process, where I do different things for my different businesses, and just my physical office space and environment. I need to clean it up and also probably do something about my recording area, right? Because I've had new lighting for almost a year now, and I haven't set it up and used it. So that's kind of silly, right? I just get a new ring light whenever I have a challenge, and I just forget about the rest. So I need to do that. I want to do that. I want to be able to make more and better videos than I do sometimes. So what are we going to do today? We're going to identify. You can either use a storyboard. You can use a tool if you want, but I usually just get out a piece of paper and I draw a line, or I just write on one side current and on the other side desired. And sometimes I'll write the problem on it. If I think somebody else is going to see it and I don't want them to see it, then I won't. But if I don't care, I'll just carry that around with me all day. And as I think of things and notice things that are going on with respect to my physical, personal, or my physical business, or my area, or ideas, that things that pop up that, okay, this is how this is. I'll put it on the current side, flip it over, and then I'll say, okay, well, what do I want it to be, right? I want my new lights set up. I want my new recording area set up. I want, to know where things are, to be organized, etc. I want, all of my books back on the bookshelf instead of laying everywhere, because I'll use one and I'll just leave it lay around. Same with my magnifying glasses. They're spread out throughout the entirety of my home and office and things. So what are we doing today? We're taking the area of physical health and well-being for our business that we identified yesterday. And today we're asking ourselves, what's the current story? What's the desired story? Why do we do this? Because we want to create the gap between where we are and where we want to be. Because as soon as we clearly identify where we want to be, everything happens for us. Remember, everything that happens, whether it feels like it or not, is for us and for our benefit. Either we have to learn something that we haven't learned yet, or be awakened to something that we haven't paid attention to, or something happens because something better is coming along down the pipe. But that is what we're doing today. Make it easy, keep it simple. You can use bullet points. You can just use a note card, whatever works for you. Take everything that you learn and make it your own, and then actually use it so you get the results that you want, right? If you have any questions, you know what to do. Just ask. I've done this literally tens of thousands of times now for myself and with other people and other businesses. So if you're struggling anywhere along the way, just ask so we can make it not a struggle. I want this to be a tool that you have in your toolbox that you can audit. Mine's automatic. The SOAP framework, everything that happens in my life now, my subconscious automatically runs it through the SOAP framework. And then if it's something I need to actually pay attention to, boom, 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 my subconscious will move it up to my conscious mind and it'll say, boom, light bulb moment, time to pay attention to this. Or I'll just do the thing I need to do to deal with it, and I won't even have to think about it consciously, which is always good, right? There's too many things vying for our attention these days. All right, have an awesome day, and I'll, of course, be with you tomorrow.